Good morning. This mug is from Boogie to Mama S. And today he said he wanted to make an appearance. He wanted to see you.
We have a very special guest today. You guys, today we're going to talk about weight loss and hunger. Sure that you guys have experienced it at least one point if you've ever tried losing weight. But first, Boogie, what do you have to say about being hungry?
Mama told me that oftentimes I get confused if I'm actually hungry or if I just want to eat.
Boogie, don't be shy. That's okay. That's okay. Come here. Boogie. He got shy. It's okay, Baba.
Mister.
So,
You like
what? So, sometimes I hear that you lie
Oh,
to
yeah.
to Mama E
Yeah.
because you tell her that Mama S didn't feed you, that you don't remember eating.
Well,
Boogie, it's okay. Don't be shy.
Mama, I'm really just hoping to get extra food.
Because you love eat, right?
Yeah. I want to eat 2 times.
Who else is like Boogie and loves to eat? Raise your hand.
He's like, don't call me out, Mama.
Boogie, it's okay. I promise that we're done. We're done. Thank you for your piece.
Okay, give me a kiss.
I'm embarrassed. You embarrassed me. You put me on the spot.
Embarrassed me.
So, who else? Who else loves to eat? If you love to eat, drop a heart. Drop a heart with your favorite color. Let's be honest, we all love to eat. However, I believe, okay, thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you so much. Baby.
However,
you did great.
My theory is that we gain weight not because we love to eat. We gain weight because we're just unaware of a lot of things.
Or because of what we eat.
In fact, I think that most people who are some kind of a diet plan are actually making themselves hungry. And I know that because I've been there. When I tried to lose weight, I went out of my way to make myself hungry. Also, due to my obsessive nature, I took myself to extreme hunger at some point in my weight loss journey, to a point where it became really bad. Like I struggled with eating disorders. So now, you know, if you've tried losing weight before, then you will probably definitely relate to this. So the point of this conversation today is to provide you with insight. If you're currently working with us, give us what kind of emoji? Thumbs up emoji?
A flex emoji. My hair.
Yeah,
is
give us a flex
today.
emoji, whether you're in the raw transformation or in the inner circle program.
In the circle.
But what you would notice is that if you've worked with us, probably one of the first things that you realize is like, wow, I'm actually eating more than Sergeant.
How are you doing over there?
I'm actually eating more than I thought that I should eat, because we go into, you know, let's say a coaching program, or because diets teach you about being in a caloric deficit, that's directly correlated with being hungry. However, setting your body up and boosting your metabolism and making sure that you have a balanced diet has actually nothing to do with you making yourself hungry in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So remember that. You know, Did you ever run yourself hungry?
Yeah, it all goes back to your perception of how to achieve fat loss, or your perception of what is required, or your expectation of what is required to lose body fat. And how is this shaped?
Right. So I find it very interesting that most people who are actually hungry most of the time are the ones who are always trying to lose weight.
Why?
And that is a very sad fact, because from a physiological standpoint, okay, for one, let's be clear, nobody has achieved their optimal body composition. And if you've worked with us, we told you, because what you notice is that as you keep on improving, your standards change.
I was gonna say, no, even as we improve, you may reach a prior destination, right? But because as human beings, okay, let's ask this, and let's all agree to agree on one thing. If we do not have a purpose in forward motion, we get depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
If we get, we're missing something. Something's missing. We feel blah, whatever, vanilla. Okay? Well, vanilla's good sometimes, but you know what I mean. But when you always want to be moving forward, progressing, right? Then you have purpose. So you feel like you're working towards something, and it's fulfilling, which is really the happiness that we're all looking for, is fulfillment. And we all find that in different ways. But once you reach a destination that you had wanted to reach prior, you have now a new destination, right? So there's no finish line. There's a never-ending growth. There are checkpoints, right? But there is never a finish line. And I think that it's good to understand this too in weight loss or in fat loss, because we have this expectation and we think, you know, oh, the faster we can lose it, the better. But is it really? How fast have you lost weight before, and what happened afterwards? Is it really better? So the focus and the perspective that you have will determine how far you actually go. But I'm kind of getting off topic, because today we're talking mostly about like why are we still hungry? Like why are we if we have extra storage of energy, fat is an energy source, whether it's in a food or it's in your body. Fat is an energy source. So if you have plenty of energy, fat, why are you still hungry?
Or if you have a relatively good amount of stored fat, why are your energy levels so low when you have so much stored energy? So for one, the point of today is to just bring realness and give you awareness and an insight with regards to what we see going on, and why do we know that like this world is really fucked up, and why we're on a mission to show up and deliver to you all the right information so that you can finally get yourself on the right path. Because it doesn't matter how hard or how long you try, if you're not using the right approach, you will never get there. You will just keep on trying, and I don't know about you, but there's nothing more frustrating than always being on a diet and never reaching the results.
And can I say too, the right approach looks a little different for everybody, but the principles are the same. And the principles that are plastered all over the Googles and all over the interwebs and all over all these diet programs and whatever are approaches that just run you into the ground.
Yeah.
They're all of the principles are unsustainable principles.
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't say all. There are some that are like would align with what we believe, but not just what we believe, what we've proven. If you're in the inner circle, again, if you're in the transformation, if you've been in a transformation, if you've done a wellness challenge or a 28-day metabolic reset, if you've done any of these things, you know that the principles that we describe and that we believe are not just beliefs. They are the truth. They're proven. You have proven it.
Yeah.
By trusting us. And for that, we thank you dearly.
So, what if you're constantly hungry, right? But let's say you're either overweight or you just know that you're so far off of your potential. Let's just put it this way. Like, if I was to say, I know that I'm not where I want to be yet, because I know that the best is yet to come. And that's for each and every one of you guys. The best is yet to come. However, you know when you're doing something good. You can just feel it, right? But if you're not on a good path, then you feel what I would like to call misaligned. Like, your heart just doesn't trust it. You're extremely skeptical. It's like there's always fear, and it's like you're still not sure what the fuck you're doing, right? And it's frustrating.
I want everybody to read Sterling's comment.
What did she say?
She just hit the nail on the head before we even got to it.
Okay, great.
So do you want to get to it or do you want to read it?
Yeah, let's read it and then let's get to it.
She said most this pisses us off, by the way, so hardcore. I want to karate chop some people in the goddamn throat. That may offend somebody that I just said that, but okay. She said most manufactured processed foods are engineered to be addictive. So we think we're hungry when it's actually a mind fuck from food additives. There are literally scientists whose their only job, what they get paid for from Nestle and Coca-Cola and General Mills and all these companies, is to figure out what the exact amount of sugar is to get that is sweet enough but not too sweet to literally actually make somebody addicted to the product. Hi, Mara. Right? That's what they get paid for, is to make people addicted to bullshit. Daya!
So, yes, Sterling, you're 100% right. But let's say you're extremely far away from reaching your potential and you're always hungry. What does that signal? Okay, it signals a couple of things. For one, I can guarantee you that if you've tried losing weight a bunch of time and you still look like you haven't gone on a diet for even like one day in your life, then you're scared of food. I know that for a fact. Why? Because I've been there. Because it doesn't matter what food you put in, for some reason, it only keeps on poofing you up, right? You're like, diet this, fat-free that, sugar-free that. I don't get it. I just keep on gaining weight. Drop an emoji if you agree with that. If you've ever felt that way, drop an emoji. I want to see that shit.
All these foods too are so empty of actual.
Yeah, that's the second thing I was getting to.
Okay, they're so empty of nutrients that they don't actually fill you up. You just put shit in and you get nothing out of it. And other than a taste and a temporary taste bud satisfaction, but then how do you feel afterwards? And this isn't even with just like complete garbage food that everybody knows is garbage food. Let's take things that we think are healthy, like granola, or like yogurt, or like protein bars, or like Cliff bars and things like this that have been promoted and advertised as health foods that provide almost nothing in comparison to the detrimental nature that they have internally. Mm-hmm. So you eat it. How many people could crush a box of cereal and then go back for more?
I can.
Right?
I probably get full from the milk, just saying. Definitely not the cereal.
Right. But I mean, that's a perfect example, right? Or like you could eat the entire box of Oreos. Like a sleeve is a serving size. It doesn't matter. You can just keep eating them, right? You don't get full because there is nothing satisfying to actually fill you up, right? So one, it doesn't fill you up. Two, it gets you addicted. So then you want more of it, right? What's the third one?
And then it lacks nutrient density, right? So when
I think that's what I said.
Right. The third one is, you know, when you look that way too, it's also a sign that your metabolism is low. You're constantly starving yourself. I don't want to eat a meal because I'm scared to eat. So instead for lunch, I'll have a couple grapes and a slice of cheese and 3 crackers. And now, you know, I'm putting it in a light way, but it's so true. How many women, how many of you right now who are in the room don't regularly eat your breakfast? Or have a small lunch? That's because you're scared to eat. You have fear of food. Because anything that you eat for some reason seems to only make you gain more weight. That's because the food that you eat, which we just talked about, has already crashed your metabolism. And when your metabolism is crashed, it really doesn't matter what you put in your body, you're gonna keep on gaining weight.
Yeah, not only that, but like, let's talk about the fact that these foods with all this synthetic bullshit fuck up your hormonal balance.
Right.
If your hormones, right, and metabolism it's intertwined, right? And so if we're talking about, okay, your inconsistency in your eating is one thing that will mess up your metabolism simply because your body doesn't trust that you're going to give it food. So it's like, well, let me just hang on. Let me hang on to everything. But then also with all of the chemicals and all of this stuff that's in these foods, and not even just real sugar, it's like fake sugar that is unnatural. And so it messes with your own natural hormonal production. So if testosterone is responsible for muscle growth and development and fat loss, and estrogen is responsible for the complete opposite, if we're just talking in terms of fat loss, right? Then you're messing up the system because of all the chemicals that are going in. Your body's not responding to anything the way that it is naturally designed to respond. So then when you start eating healthy, for one, you're afraid, so that's a mental component. For two, your hormones are jacked up, and so is your metabolism. So now you've got to reteach yourself, and that doesn't mean that you're doomed, right? Don't take this as it's not an excuse by any means. How many times do we hear like, oh, I just have a slow metabolism? Yeah, that's because you made it slow. But, you know, to your defense, the marketing system within the food industry has helped you do that. But you have to reteach yourself that it is okay to eat. If you're eating good quality foods, how many times have you heard, we've said this before, like any healthy food you can think of, like legit from the earth, like a whole food, a fruit or a vegetable or an animal protein or whatever, eggs. How many times have you heard of somebody getting overweight because they ate too many eggs? Because they ate too many apples? Because they ate too many carrots? Oh, heaven forbid, carrots have sugar. Ah!
Yeah.
0 times ever. 0 times ever.
Right. That's because they're nutrient dense foods. Okay, so look, you know, when it comes to your success, there's 2 elements that we have to take into consideration. It's called the physical and the behavioral. Okay, so for one, do know that we do live in a society that tricks you. And unless you know all the information that you need to know, you're going to keep on being tricked. And that's why I know, so there's 43 people in the room. I know that at least each and every one of you guys know somebody in your life who has been trying to lose weight for as long as you've known them. It could be you as well, right? And where are they at? probably more overweight than they were 5 years ago. Just being honest.
Stephanie has a question.
Yeah.
Her intention is to debunk her husband. Are you supposed to eat when you're not hungry? He doesn't eat hardly anything. I'm trying to explain to him that when he doesn't eat, his body holds it all and stores it to go back to survival mode. My question is he overweight? If he's not overweight and he's not hungry, I don't know what the problem is. Like, I don't see there being a problem with that. If he is overweight, then he could be lying and he is actually hungry. He's just not eating.
Because he thinks he's hungry. Because he thinks, and this is a great example, because this is real life vicious cycle, right? It's like the more you gain weight, the more hungrier you try to make yourself because you think it's going to help you to get the results that you're looking for. But in fact, if you're not eating the right foods, then you're only going to keep on crashing your metabolism more and more, and you're only making it harder.
Jessica, I've avoided breakfast because I eat a lot in the day when I eat breakfast. I feel hungry all day and eat early versus... What's wrong with being hungry? Can I say that, actually? Like, but when you're...
I know Jessica's story, so that's why I want to add to that. When you don't have the right approach that really gives you a guideline with regards to how to eat nutrient-dense foods, yes, it makes more sense because you're going to eat more shitty food, and eating more shitty food is going to make you gain more weight.
But feeling hungry in itself is not a bad thing. If you think about it,
it's a great thing.
Feeling hungry is a great thing when you're eating good food. If you're eating good food and you feel hungry, your metabolism is on your side. If you're feeling hungry, but you feel like you're eating all the time, and everybody's definition of, or perspective of all the time is going to be different. But if you're eating nutrient poor food, which normally is in the middle aisles of the store, with exceptions, of course, and you still feel hungry all the time, ask yourself, what am I eating? Is it actually nutrient dense? Then great, my metabolism is probably working with me, and it's okay that I eat. Right? It's okay that I'm eating these healthy foods. If you're eating and eating and eating and it's Oreos and wheat thins and sugar-free licorice or fat-free licorice and, whatever, then it's probably a hunger that could be avoided and is unnecessary. So there's always two sides to the coin.
Yep.
Being hungry isn't always a bad thing, though. So you can add to the story, but I just wanted to put that in there before I knew the story so that my response wasn't skewed.
No, in your case, Jessica, you're working with me, so I know your story. Like, you actually, you have a good metabolism. Like, revving up your metabolism is not something that we need to do because you do eat often. It's just that, your choices of food have been poor, right? And, thankfully you've sought the help and you're on the right path because we are shifting that. So remember, you guys, there is so many elements to, really getting on a path of success and achieving the body that you want and honestly you deserve. Unless, if you're not willing to put in the work, then you don't deserve it. Just being honest. But if you're willing to put in the work and you're so misaligned, then your approach is wrong. And that is because, for one, you don't have the right knowledge with regards to what does nutrient dense food mean? What does a nutrient dense diet looks like in a way that's harmonized with your lifestyle? We need to harmonize everything. The problem is that Whole30, paleo, right? They teach you to eat better foods, but the problem is that they don't teach you the behavioral aspect to it, right? They only go to the physical. And that's why if you know anybody who's ever done Whole30 or paleo for the first Whole30 is 30 days, right? You wouldn't want to do it more than 30 days because, again, from a behavioral standpoint, it just fucking sucks.
I don't even want to do
your
it for 5
coffee tastes
days.
like shit. I think drinking black coffee, it might as well drink mud. Not having an alcohol or anything, like it really limits you for one. So that's why like it's almost like a challenge, and 30 days of it is like you don't want to do it for another 300 days.
And to be honest, like most people don't even do it the whole way anyways.
Right.
Like, oh, this is whole 30, this tequila's whole 30.
I don't think tequila is whole 30, but tequila
this
is
vodka's
paleo. Right, but like how many, we come from the CrossFit world, so like back in the day, paleo was huge in CrossFit, and like you see all these, this might sound harsh, but like fat paleo girls, right? So it's like, what's the point of you knowing how to eat clean if your behavioral approach is not aligned with the physical approach? And that's something that nobody, I don't care what diet trend it is, ever talks about. They tell you do this, do that. They talk about the what's, but not about the hows and the whys. And that's where the magic and the silver lining is, when you understand the whys and the hows.
Hey, Nicole. What's your last name? Trumbauer. I think I'm saying that right. Send me a message. She said, that's me, always on a diet and gaining more back each time.
Yeah.
Pushing my weight up over the years. It's going to keep happening unless you do something different.
Yep.
And I don't mean like a different diet program or something. You have to have a different approach that you can be okay doing for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Natasha, I have a thyroid problem. I'm taking meds for it. I do not get hungry most of the time. What can I do? The most thyroid issues don't need to be thyroid issues. It goes back to the food industry.
Yep.
You have thyroid issues unless you have a very unique and rare, so most likely not, autoimmune thyroid dysfunction that you were born with.
And normally that starts occurring when you're a teenager.
Yeah. So that being controlled by meds is more realistic. Meds are going to, it's like putting a Band-Aid on the issue.
And also, once you get started with meds, we need to have a conversation about medication.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic of
but medications, once you start taking medications, it's a downward spiral for the rest of your life. For so many reasons.
Not even from an addiction perspective, but kind of, actually, not from a mental addiction perspective, from a physical dependency of, right? Oh, if I don't take this, then this will happen. This bad thing will happen, right? And we start to believe then that we have to rely on these things in order to keep us functioning well, when really the problem is actually probably what you've eaten, and you just need to recover your body. Food is the most underused medicine and the most overabused drug. Food. People use it as a drug daily, everywhere. Even if you are an outstanding, you seem to have your life together, CEO, got money in the bank, whatever, you use drugs. It's called food. Mm-hmm. To suppress something. Right? Or it can be the best medicine in the entire world. And it's not in the form of a pill, unless you're taking an actual legitimately created, high integrity supplement that is made to supplement a good lifestyle and a good healthy diet. Yeah.
You guys, when your hormones work with you, then you can do so many magical things. Who in here knows who The Rock Dwayne Johnson is? I mean, you gotta know who he is. You know, look, one of my life's goals is to be such a world-renowned interviewer like Oprah, and one of the people that I know that I want to interview is The Rock.
You know what I want? You know what my goal is with The Rock? To give him a piggyback ride. Ooh. I want to give The Rock a piggyback ride. If anybody knows him, can you send this video to him, please? That'd be epic. If I could get a photo for the gram of The Rock getting a piggyback ride from me.
Hell yeah. Hashtag.
Also, if you know Ellen DeGeneres, also looking for her. Yeah.
We're heading in that direction. But The reason why you guys, one thing that Dwayne Johnson always does is on Sundays, he posts photos of his epic cheat meals. And most people are like, how the heck can he eat so much and have the physique that he does? So for one, know that it takes years of work to manipulate your metabolism to work that way. And that involves training in a certain way, at a certain intensity for a certain amount of time, and also following a certain, nutritional approach for a certain amount of time. You don't just get to do something for a week or two and expect to use cheat meal as an advantage. When your hormones are literally at the pinnacle and your nutrition is top notch, every once in a while, in Dwayne's case, it's once every 7 days, he goes ham on the food that he eats, and that produces another hormone that's called leptin that fires up his metabolism. But for most of us whose hormones are normally downregulated and leptin is always high, we're just going in a downward spiral.
Can I say two things?
Yeah.
What The Rock does, I'm going to say three things. What The Rock does and what he posts is out of context.
Yeah.
It's one thing. It's not his whole life and what he does all the time or how long he's done it. For two, it's a science. What he does on his Sunday it's actually a science, and there is purpose and intention behind it. Three, he earned it.
From years of hard work.
Yes. Not, I did so good this week. I only had 4 Oreos instead of 9. And so now I deserve a cheat meal. When I'm talking about that kind of earned, over the years of his consistency in behavior and in nutrition and in fitness and everything, he has earned the right to progress to a scientific method that helps him progress even further, right? The only way he can actually now at this point continue progressing the way he wants to is to implement that kind of scientific structure. And it's a weekly routine, but all people see is the Sunday, there's a difference between a cheat meal and just binge eating.
And most of us starve ourselves during the day because we're scared to eat. And then we feel so hungry and so stressed out that we end up binge eating.
And it's not intentional. And I would say that is the difference.
And the reason why we say most of us is because we used to be those people too. So we get it. And that's why we're calling you out if you're doing it. However, know that if you're alive today, then you have an opportunity to change all of that. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? But if you're ready, willing, and able, then yes. You just need to be very clear with the fact that you need to really want it, because, the right approach and method is going to be different than anything you've ever been told before. If you're in the inner circle, drop a comment. Say hallelujah, amen.
Ashley, I don't even want to pronounce your last name. I'm going to butcher it.
Berb.
I don't even want you to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
You got mono, it triggered Hashimoto's. Are you sure though? Are you sure that it was the mono? Or was it that your immune system was down because you had mono? And what is your diet like? Here's the thing. I don't know what your body status is, but if you're overweight, I would say more than 25 pounds, then there are other medical complications that begin to happen. Not necessarily because of an illness, and maybe it runs in the family, but then I would also look at what is the rest of your family's lifestyle.
Yeah, nature versus nurture.
Nature versus nurture, right? And now if you believe that you are destined to something because it runs in your family, when a lot of times diabetes and things like this don't just run in the family. They run in what you're taught and how you behave, which is nurture, right? Then your belief system is going to cause it to remain an issue for you. But if you say, this is not my life, this is not my destiny, this is not my future, it doesn't have to be this way, based off of my lifestyle, my behaviors, and my nutrition on a consistent basis, I can overcome this. I truly believe that you can. Man, we could just keep going on forever. I can't read any more comments because it's so much.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys are really amazing.
You know, as far as Hashimoto's goes, and Hashimoto's is becoming, you know, this medical condition that's becoming more and more common amongst women. And that's because women are literally crashing their metabolism by trying to lose weight and using the wrong approach.
It fucks your thyroid.
100%. Hashimoto's, like heart disease, like diabetes, is not acute. It's chronic. It doesn't just happen from 7 days of mono or however long you had mono. It happens from years of literally just like slashing your thyroid and treating it like shit. The sad thing is because the food industry does not tell you like all the behind the scenes of what happens, is that most of the women who end up getting Hashimoto's are actually what I would call health conscious. That's the saddest thing.
Because you're health conscious, like it sucks that you're doing what you can to be as healthy as you can. So you want wheat thins, so you get the reduced fat wheat thins. I say this because this was my mom, right? And then I learned that, right? I'm going to get the fat-free version of this. I'm going to get the sugar-free version of that I'm doing good. And you're led to believe that you're doing good too, which is the most frustrating thing. I'm going to get, I can't believe it's not butter spray. You know how much of that shit I used to put on vegetables?
Yeah.
And then when you realize it's literally like, you might as well take the fucking air freshener in your bathroom and spray it on your goddamn toast.
No wonder your thyroid's messed up.
That was a little aggressive, but sometimes I get that way. I hope you like it. So, yeah, there's so many things. I don't even know where we went. What was the topic of today? I think we got to close this out.
So the topic of today is, you know, you feel like your body is in misalignment, but you're still hungry. That's just the reality of it. Most people who really are trying, the sad thing about it is that they're hungry. How does that make sense if fat is energy storage? You are storing so much energy, but yet you're constantly hungry.
And you're also tired.
Yeah.
That's because your organs are suffocating.
Yeah. So
Swimming in.
So it's a vicious cycle. Look, for one, if you're like, man, they spoke to my soul today. If you found this helpful, then do us a favor and please reach out to either Erin or Tammy Jarrett. Have a conversation with them because we know how to help you.
We have a lot of shit from free to $1 billion.
Just kidding. That can help you. Now, if you know that you're ready and you're ready to get on the right path and are willing to, then you need to reach out to Erin or Tammy. Okay, it's not just going to come to you. And then lastly, if there is somebody in your life that you know who is like, man, like Linda in the office, I always see her eating these, you know, paleo thin stuff, and it's like she keeps gaining weight every single week. You know,
She's
I'm
even
just trying
eating
to
the diet Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, right. Like, there's so many women in our like immediate communities and communities who literally live their lives like that. And there's nothing more shameful too than really trying and always asking for substitutions, but yet you don't look like it.
You don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it. You feel like a cop-out. Your confidence is low. There's no way in hell you're showing up. Chances are that, you know, you're probably on thyroid medication. Maybe you're on the verge of cholesterol medication and high blood pressure medication. Like, what sort of life is that? As far as I'm concerned, it's imprisoning. And that's why we're here.
Yeah, it's called being alive, not
We're
living.
here to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. You guys, if you are just dropping in today for the first time, then welcome. If you've been at it, on watching it for quite a while, thank you for your support. Yeah, thank you for your support, you guys. We know that, you know, everybody, literally every woman needs to listen to this. What we say may piss a lot of people off, but guess what? We're here to provide you with food freedom and physical freedom by giving you the truth so that you can live your best life should you choose to take that route. We've been in your shoes before, we've overcome it, and we know what it's required of you. If we can do it, you can too.
Amen. And
so can your neighbor and your coworkers and your mom and your aunt. It doesn't matter. You just have to be ready. And if you're ready, or if you know that they're in pain, then do us a favor and share this video with them or invite them to this community. We go live literally 5 days a week. Why?
For you.
Because we want to provide you the right tools to help you change your life. Because we know that you can't live a good life feeling like you want to hide in your clothes all day, every day. That's the truth. We hope that you guys have an amazing day. We will catch you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m.
Thanks for being here. We love you guys.
Have a great day.